welcome to Friday's Reflections. I hope you've had a good week. I've had a lovely week. Some days were really busy, and yesterday I had a wonderful time with my daughter and granddaughter, which was so precious. And it caused me to think of this scripture. It's from one of the minor prophets, Joel, in the Old Testament, and it's chapter 2, verses 25 through to 27. And as usual, I'm reading from the NRSV version. I will repay you for the years that the swarming locust has eaten, the hopper, the destroyer, and the cutter, my great army which I sent against you. You shall eat in plenty and be satisfied, and praise the name of the Lord your God, who has dealt wondrously with you. And my people shall never again be put to shame. You shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I, the Lord, am your God, and there is no other. And my people shall never again be put to shame. And the particular verse I love and want to focus on or share with you my thoughts today is, I will repay you for the years that the swarming locust has eaten. And I know this was written in a time when the Israelites had strayed and gone away, and God in his grace brings them back, and there are things that happen to cause them to come back. But God always wants to reconcile. He's always a merciful God. And he's that same God yesterday, today and forever. And the scripture about repaying you for the years that the locust has eaten really made me think of COVID, which wasn't years and years, but nevertheless, it was a real shock and a real time of separation from family, from community, from everything really with lockdown. And it was the time I spent with my daughter yesterday that really made me think of this scripture. She came after she dropped my grandson at school. So she got here probably about just before 10ish. And she was here until maybe just after 1. And we had some time in the house, and then we went down to Tewinbury to have coffee outside and pastries. But we had the most amazing time. It was one of those times when the conversation just flowed, and we shared really, meaningful and joyful things. And the whole time felt so blessed and just so special. And it made me think, it was awful that she couldn't come with the children at Easter. She had COVID. And I missed those days. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday she would have gone back. I'd have had all that time. And that was taken, and I can't get that back. But I had this morning with her and my granddaughter, and it was so perfect and so full of God's love and God's peace and God's grace that I don't think I'll ever forget it. And you can't make those times happen, can you? They just seem to happen when you have a period of time which is so special. It seems to have been much longer or much greater than the actual time itself. And it was so lovely because she rang me on the way home and just said, I just wanted to say it was so special, and I feel as if my soul has been restored, and it was just fantastic. And I thought, God, you are amazing. Terrible things do happen and will happen and continue to happen until Jesus comes back, but he is that God who can give us more than we've lost. And it made me think of my mum too during COVID, when I lost my mum, and she had dementia, so we couldn't even Zoom. I couldn't see her. There was no way of saying goodbye, and that was so hard. But I discovered Panshanger Park, and I walked around there for miles and hours, even though I was probably out longer than I should have been. But all I could do was just walk, and it really seemed help. It seemed to keep me close to God and kind of journeying, and it seemed to give me that peace that passes all understanding. And the funny thing is now, whenever I walk in Panshanger Park, I have these amazing memories of my mum pre-dementia, which are really special, and I'm really grateful for them. My mum never set foot in Panshanger Park, but because I walked around there all that difficult time, she's very much, her memory is very much there for me. And I'm thinking about this weekend at church. There's a celebration, a remembrance service for a very special lady who was part of our fellowship at Panshanger, and she was the lady who welcomed me into the church. And whenever I was going through a challenging or spiritually difficult time, or she would always just appear somewhere or send an email or say the right thing. And I was so grateful for her friendship, for her prayers, for her love and for her care. And she got COVID, and so had that awful situation where the funeral people couldn't go, and God can't give us that time back, but he can give us this amazing opportunity on Saturday to really remember with her family her amazing life. And of course, it wasn't just me she welcomed into Panshanger Church. There were many other people. She had a real gift of welcoming you, knowing how much to say, how much to welcome, when to get close, when to give you some space, all of that. A wonderful gift she had. So that's really what I wanted to share with you today. I don't know what life has cost you or thrown at you. I don't know what you lost during COVID or how hard it was for you. But I just want to read that scripture again before I pray, because God is faithful, and I hope you will be blessed. But that will come on in my prayer anyway, so I'll just read the scripture. I will repay you for the years that the swarming locust has eaten, the hopper, the destroyer, and the cutter, my great army which I sent against you. You shall eat in plenty and be satisfied, and praise the name of the Lord your God, who has dealt wondrously with you. And my people shall never again be put to shame. You shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I, the Lord, am your God, and there is no other. And my people shall never again be put to shame. Lord, thank you so much for your word. Thank you so much that you are true to your word. And Lord, I just lift up to you all those who've been robbed of time, and whatever situation, whatever hurts have come their way, where they've been robbed of the life that they wanted. I thank you that you are a God who can give something better. And help us to walk in that knowledge, Lord, expectantly and obediently, because we ask it in your name and for your sake. I hope you have a great weekend. It's still really cold, isn't it? So I hope it warms up. But I hope your weekend is full of joy, actually, and I hope you're coming to the service on Sunday, the gathering. Ben and Annie are leading and preaching in our cafe church, and I think it's going to be really exciting and uplifting. So do join us if you can, and I look forward to sharing with you again next week. So see you then.